This is a Graflex 2.5 for John Habura. To talk about some of the modifications I did. Number one, I have outfitted this in Empire Strikes Back fashion. So it has the two red buttons. I'm going to show you something else I'm giving you there. I've updated the tabs on your Graflex pins from KR Sabers. So you've got the copper tabs. This has the 11-pin TCSS Neopixel connector, has a main button here, and it has a main button also in the clamp and an auxiliary button in the clamp. This saber is also equipped, it's an ESB. I've got the mylar tape on the outside of the clamp. I've modified the clamp to spin. Of course, it's got the clamp switches in there with Stock's clamp switch solution. And I also have Goth3D Knight Chassis in this saber, and the chassis is custom painted and also has some extra greeblies in there, including Darth Chasm conduit, and it's custom painted. You know, it's plastic, but to look as realistic as possible, and there's also Neopixels in there. Stand by, I'll show you something else. Some other accuracy upgrades I've done on this is I've added rivets in the grips, and those rivets have had the pins knocked out. I've also got rivets holding on a Cobalt D-ring. The Cobalt D-ring is clocked so that this is the grip that's lined up with the clamp. And you can also change this from an ESB saber to a quasi Force Awakens by replacing the second red button with your brass eye, and this brass eye works as blade retention as well. Some additional, look, I know that the beer tab is on there, but the customer wanted the beer tab to remain, and then with the beer tab on, we can be quasi TFA and quasi ESB all at the same time. I've also added flathead screws countersunk here as well as in the clamp. It's an awesome lightsaber, really awesome. Greetings, saber fans, it's your old pal Megtooth Sith. Got a Korbanth Graflex 2.5 with a Goth3D Knight Chassis in it, and Proffie 1.5 here for John Habura. This is the demonstration portion of the video. Hope you all enjoy. All the fonts on this saber are from Kyberphonic fonts, Jesse Kirkbride, and this first one is his ESB. Since this saber is configured in ESB fashion, guess Jesse Kirkbride's ESB. Yep, full volume. Lockup, localized, also it's end lock. Tip drag. Also has Force Lightning lockup with a Clash initiated lockup. Blaster blocks. Force sounds. Now the cool part about this one, it's running SA2CC's mods. Here we go with color changing. I'm going to go into color changing mode. We'll leave it on green for this part of the demo. I'm going to lock in green, and now I have a green saber, and all the effects still work. This is Force Lightning, Blaster, Tip Drag, Blaster blocks. Now I'm going to go into effect changing, power and twist. And I think I'm going to lock it in on the rain blade, which you got fire, fast fire, and then there's the rain blade. So I'm going to lock it in on that. Localized lockup still. Force Lightning lockup still on the rain blade. Blaster blocks. And then I'm going to go back into effects change, and I'm going to get to audio flicker, which is the first one. There it is. I'm going to lock it in an audio flicker, and then I'm going to go into color changing mode and put it back on the ESB blade. So we're locked in the ESB. Retraction. Next font. This is A New Hope Training, which is basically simulating Luke powering the battle in the battle in the drone in the Millennium Falcon. Background music is the background stuff on the Millennium Falcon, including the drone. Lockup. Localized, and it has Force Lightning lockup. This blade is not color changing. Tip drag on this one. Force sounds.
Your eyes can deceive you, don't trust them. Your eyes can deceive you, don't trust them.
You made a fan. Screaming about it can't help you.
Yeah, it's not wise, it's a Wookiee.
It's just a cool font. You get the point. Next one.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
This is Obi-Wan Kenobi. Darker blue blade. Force Lightning lockup. Localized lockup. Most of these blades are Fernando de Rosas. There's your tip drag. Blaster blocks. I know my audio sucks on these videos, but I'm shooting on a GoPro. Next one.
Jedi, like my father.
Luke Skywalker, Return of the Jedi, green blade. There you go. It's got begin lock and end lock, just like all of Jesse Kirkbride's fonts. This one does have Force Lightning lockup too. Piece with a blue fire blade. That's Frederick's traditional fire blade there. That's Force Lightning lockup. Blaster blocks, tip drag. This is a Vader font. Now this blade is also color changing, but you know, of course, it's in red. There's your localized lockup, Force Lightning lockup, tip drag. Blaster blocks, swing. I think the music on that one is Imperial March. Yeah. There's music on every preset. We've got another dark side font. Pretty sure this one was Violence. It's got that blue spark tip. Watch the ignition again. Watch the ignition. Full blade lockup. Blasters. Again, full blade lockup on power hold. Blasters. Tip drag. Just the tip. Valerie spark tip fire blade, watch the ignition on that. Of course, it's to Jesse Kirkbride's Unstable. Those are the Force sounds. Kylo Renstein's the background music on that if you want to play it. It's another Darth Vader font with the blue spark tip. It's got green localized lockup, blasters, spark, tip tag, blast, clash. Force, retraction, rainbow blade, of course Cantina. All these presets again have soundtrack on them. This one has Cantina. Bam, rainbow blade on Cantina. My lightning blade. That's lockup, tip drag, blaster blocks. Of course, it's so crazy. And then your battery blade. That concludes that. So stand by for the instructions on how to use this baby. Thank you very much. This is the instructional video for Habura's Graflex. Really quick, the power button is either here on this red button, or this saber is also equipped with buttons underneath the card, power and auxiliary. And now we're going to tell you how to turn the saber on. To turn the saber on, you can remove the pommel cap or you can remove the whole rear end of the saber. You just need to access the twist and kill key and twist the kill key to turn it on. Should hear a boot. There, it's turned on. Then you can put the pommel back in. And there is that. To turn the saber on, you press, well, before we turn the saber on, let's put a blade in there so you can see how that works. And I've got your brand new blade here. This is your brand new blade, JH, Megtooth Sith 2019. And how we put a blade in is we loosen this thumb screw at the bottom of the hilt or the brass eye. Both will retain the blade. And we insert the blade into the hilt. And it's important that you insert it in fully. You'll feel some spring tension and you have to hold that tension against it and then tighten the blade set screw to hold the blade in. And then the blade's in the saber. To activate, you press the red button. To turn the saber off, you long press the red button. Or you can also activate with the clamp and a long press to turn the saber off. To swing the saber, of course, you swing the saber. To initiate a clash, you just merely clash the saber, which I'll show. There's a clash by merely just... To get a blaster block while the saber's ignited, briefly press Aux. To get a force push, double tap power.
Your destiny lies in me, Skywalker.
Or here.
Don't make me destroy you. Your destiny lies in me, Skywalker.
To get a lockup, there's two ways. This saber is running Matt McGreary's mod. To get a lockup, you can either press and hold auxiliary, and that gives you your lockup. Or you can press and hold power and clash the saber, and that gives you your force lightning lockup. and that will continue until you let go of power. To retract the saber, long press of the red button turns it off. To advance to your next preset, hit auxiliary. To go back to your first preset, long press on power, either this power or that power.
The Force is with you, young Skywalker. You are not Jedi yet.
To get battery speak, press and hold the aux and don't let it go.
4.07 volts.
This saber also has a volume menu. To get into the volume menu, press aux for 2 seconds. 1, 2, release. You hear a menu. To increase volume, power. To decrease, hit aux. To get out of the volume menu, 2-second press on aux. Now it's ignited with reduced volume. I'm going to turn the volume all the way back up, 2-second press on aux. That other tone lets you know it's full volume, 2-second press on aux to get out of the volume menu. Now it's ignited in full volume. Now, because this is SA2CC's mod, this is also equipped with the color changing. How you get to color changing is you press and hold power and then you press aux. So I'm going to ignite the saber. I'm going to press and hold power and press aux. When you hear that tone, all you have to do is swing the saber and now it color changes. To lock in a color once you're on a color, you press power and then hit aux. And you'll hear that tone. Now when you swing the saber, it remains locked in that color. Along with that, you also have effect changing. And to get to effect changing, you press power button and twist the hilt. Now it's going to roll through all its effects. To lock it in, you simply press power and hold aux, the same way you locked in a color change. So I'm going to let it get to gradient rainbow and lock it in. There's fast fire, here comes rain, then gradient rainbow. And now I've locked it in on gradient rainbow. Now if I want it back into the main audio flicker, which is the first preset, I'm going to put it back in effect change mode. And how I put it back in effect change mode is hold power, twist. It's going to give me an audio flicker. And now I've locked in audio flicker. And how I lock it in is press power and briefly touch aux. And that's how you lock your effects in. Retract the saber. Preset, change preset, press aux.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
Now, you have 2 color changing blades on this. On your first preset, but also on this Darth Vader preset, it is also color changing and effects changing as well. And the last blade, which you know you're at your last preset, is your color change, is your battery meter blade. So I'm going to take the blade out. Once we take the blade out, that's your saber with the blade out. You did not want a blade plug, so I'm not going to build one. To take the lower half of the hilt off, just loosen the clamp like that, and then gently lefty-loosey on the lower part of the hilt. And you can take the lower part of the hilt off. I've added some additional greeblies, as well as I have included some additional painting on this. and I've also added Darth Chasm conduit into the crystal chamber to make it look more realistic. And also I've added some custom paint on your crystal chamber so it looks a little bit more like a real lightsaber chassis. You get to the next preset, you can see it rolling. There's your Cylon action. There's your crystal chamber up and running. Color changing mode, I'm going to press power and press Ox and swing the saber. Each time I swing the saber, you get color change in the crystal as well as the blade. To lock in a color, press power and hold Ox. Turn the saber off. To charge the saber, this is your kill key. Remove the kill key and plug in your charger right here. This takes a 2.1 millimeter charger, 3.7 volt smart charger. This is a lithium ion battery, 3.7 volt lithium ion battery. Most chargers, when they turn green, they're fully charged. Once this battery drops below 3.6 volts, the performance of your lightsaber will be reduced. The nominal condition to have the lightsaber in is 3.7 volts and above. When at fully charged, an 18650 is at 4.2 volts approximately. So I'm going to put the kill key back in, and this concludes the instructional video for your lightsaber. Thank you very much, everyone, and may the Force be with you.